In the wake of the devastating terror attack in Pahalgam, Kashmir, which has claimed the lives of 26 innocent civilians, the terminology and narrative used by foreign media is raising questions. While local authorities and Indian media have labeled the perpetrators as terrorists and called the attack a terror attack, several prominent Western outlets like the BBC, the New York Times, Al Jazeera, CNN and AP have opted for milder terms like gunmen and militants. This choice of language has raised concerns, with critics accusing these media outlets of undermining the severity of the attack. The issue has even led to a reprimand from a U.S. House committee. Critics argue that the refusal to label the attackers as terrorists not only diminishes the gravity of the attack, but also reflects a broader reluctance in the West to confront the reality of terrorism in Kashmir. So why are Western media hesitant to call them terrorists? Is it a deliberate attempt to whitewash the issue? Lord Rami Ranger, member of the House of Lords of the United Kingdom, is joining us live from Dubai. Lord Ranger, thank you for speaking with us. What is really pretty glaring in the face is the lack of the word terrorists that has been used by many Western media outlets. Is this something that is upsetting, disturbing? In fact, a U.S. House committee reportedly has even called out the New York Times by saying they weren't militants, they were terrorists. Why don't you call them that?
I agree with you. They are terrorists. They have attacked defenseless people. They've got the element of surprise on their hand. So it is a very, very appalling act of cowardice. They attack weak and vulnerable people who are going about their business, their life, without any upsetting anybody, but yet they are under attack for a reason is beyond my thinking. But having said that, history has a habit of repeating itself. We do not learn from it. And I'm very sad to say that Pakistan was created with over 1 million people dead, 15 million people became homeless in the country of their origin, including my family. My father was also assassinated for opposing the breakup of India because he was a visionary. He could foretell the consequences of religious disharmony. If you create a country based on religious hatred, it is very difficult to remove that base. So he warned them that you'll have to continue to generate more hatred for your existing, and this is exactly what is happening. And they got 3 parts of India. They got 2, Bangladesh and Pakistan, and above all, they got equal share in India. India is a secular democratic country. Equality for all is enshrined in the constitution. So therefore, they should have been happy that they got 3 bites of the cherry. Yet they had to attack an independent state, Kashmir, an independent country, doing their own business, and yet suddenly find themselves under attack. And India had to respond. And now where we are, we had 4 bloody battles, and we have wasted so much resources. With the resources should have gone to support the poor of the society who have no voice. Yet we are doing what we are doing through the terrorism and achieving very little apart from death, destruction, and waste of resources and hindering our progress. And what has happened in Kashmir, it's a very sad, because people their livelihood will suffer. Tourists will be scared to come. There will be a huge repercussion for the poor people both sides of the border. And I pray that somebody have the courage to pick up the phone and call Prime Minister Modi and condemn this barbaric act, because these terrorists have come from nowhere. They come from the other side of Kashmir. So therefore, somebody has been harboring them. Somebody has been training them, somebody has been supporting them. So this is the time for a mature leadership. Put the ego below, put the objective above. The objective is peace, prosperity, which is essential for the progress. So therefore, my appeal to every leader is now to sit down, unite against terrorism of any shape and form. And this is exactly what they do. Death and destruction. They're not scientists, they're not engineers, they're not doctors, they're not saving life, they're destroying lives. And therefore, I appeal to all the leaders, please, especially the leader from Pakistan, pick up a phone because people in India are suffering. They have suffered, and some decent leader has to show some empathy, sympathy to them, and make sure this kind of tragedy never happen again. We learn from it and we build our future. So my request is, but I'm saddened, shocked. Everything was going forward, and every time when we try to achieve progress, this happens. And why it happens, I don't know. And the statement from the general of Pakistan was really religiously charged statement, was not uncalled for, because the general represented army where people of every citizen, every religion, serve.
Absolutely. Also,
They're ready
Lord
to go.
Ranger, now coming back, of course, to these outlets, these media outlets, and their reluctance, of course, to use the word terrorist. Do you believe Western media is guilty of hypocrisy when it comes to such terror incidents in countries of the global South? They don't take it as seriously as perhaps they would a terror incident on their own soil.
Well, if this is not terrorism, what it is? You tell me. I mean, if they don't want to call a spade, then it's a sad indictment of their journalism. And, because journalists are supposed to be, uh, neutral. They are not supposed to be biased. And if they are trying to act as a biased journalist, then they are not truly independent. So I think the whole world is appalled with the death of innocent people, newly married, came to, for their honeymoon. This is such a tragedy. 6 year old, 6 days, old wedding couple have been destroyed. Their lives have been destroyed. A woman has been left widowed for no good reason. I can't understand what kind of faith will ever allow people to take lives of another innocent person. If they were combatant, one can understand. But these are helpless, defenseless people. They have done nothing wrong, and they have not harmed anybody. For them to target and then to kill, it is a very, very bad precedent for anybody to follow. So therefore, I request that do not escalate war, because there will be more death of innocent people, more loss of life, more loss of properties. And this is terrible, because if somebody's house is destroyed, it probably took him 20 years to build their house. So therefore, this is the time for mature leadership to rise above petty politics or egoism, come together for a cause. The cause is humanity, save humanity from further destruction. And that is what I am appealing, and I'm very sad, because in 1947, we lost everything. My father was killed. My mother became widow at the age of 35. I started my life in a refugee camp, and I know the suffering people go through once their loved one is lost, because their life is shattered. And the life, you take years to build the life, and you can destroy it in 5 seconds.
Lord Ranger, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on that story. In some latest developments now coming in on the US-China trade dispute, President Donald Trump